All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. You are live and direct once again with your Akazaki Yahoo. And as always, I'm giving all praises, honor, and great esteem unto the Most High Power, Yahweh, Bashem, Hamashiach, Wamalak, Yahweh Shai, and to the 12 tribes of Israel who are scattered to the four quarters of the earth. I say shalom, wa, baruch, King. That is peace and blessings. And I cannot wait to the day when the Most High brings us back together and we are once again 12 tribes, one family, one nation, under the Most High power, under one covenant, back in our own land with a heart of flesh and no more a heart of stone, with our enemies, our adversaries, and all those who hate us under our feet. All praises to the Almighty Yah. Hallelujah. Yes, indeed. Once again, you are live and direct with your Akazaki Yahoo. And we're going to jump right into this video. Now, let me preface this. Okay. Uh, I don't know who this person is. Azealia. Apparently, she's a musician, rapper, whatever. I don't know nothing about these modern day people doing music. You know, I'm old school with the music, and I'm set apart with the music. So if it's not some old school joints that I grew up with, and if it's not some set apart music, uh, I ain't dealing with it. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know these cats. I don't know who's out here, who's doing this, who's making that. I don't even know it, but that's not important. What's important is apparently this young lady was is Negro, so-called Negro, and she calls herself pro Israel, state of Israel, which is a doggone shame because you actually are Israel, darling. You are Israelite. If your father is a so-called black man and he is a product of the slave trade, that would make you an Israelite. And you pro people who stole your history, your heritage, and are claiming it for themselves. You pro those people. Come on, man. We got to do better. You know what this is telling me is that all the work that's being done, we still missing it because our people still not getting it. They still out in the dark. When you got Negroes, you know, oh my gracious, I'm gonna try not to make this a rant, but when you have Negroes, so-called black people, sending their fought for resources, money, and everything else to Israel, that's a problem. That means you don't understand what's going on. You looking in the face of your oppressor, of your destroyer, and you're saying, let me help you. Let me assist you with what you're doing. Yes, you probably don't know that they're doing evil against your people, but whether you know or whether you don't know, you are assisting the hand of your adversary. That is not scripture. That is not Torah. That is not any of the instruction that the children of Israel have been given. You don't assist your oppression. That is ridiculous. Your oppression is not to be assisted by your hands. You oppress my people, you don't you don't assist with that. You know what I'm saying? And I know again, this is the problem. People don't know what's going on. People just out in the dark. I'm talking about Floyd Mayweather, and I'm not trying to get a shout or him on my whatever, but this happened. This brother sent money and resources to Israel. This man had to box in the ring to procure his resources, and then he turns around and sends it to Israel, not the real Israel, the Israelis, the state of Israel. which is funding our oppression. Why would you fund our oppression? What benefit is that for us? What benefit is that for you? There is none. But when you don't know, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. But let's get to the video. Let's get to the video. We're gonna talk about this. We're gonna make this known. This is gonna be known. There won't be any more problems. This comes to us from Benayah Israel, the elder. Shout out to the brother. Uh, Hidden Hebrews is his brand, and he does a lot of magnificent work. I wouldn't have known about this except a bit for him. I cut through his commercials and his extra stuff. We're going straight to the video. Here we go.
Let's start with our personal backgrounds of what we were taught about Israel or what we believed about Israel prior to October 7th, 2023.
Yeah.
What did we know, hear, and or believe about Israel?
We already know that I grew up in a very conservative home as a pastor's kid. How I viewed Israel was the verses that we hear a lot of, like, those who bless Israel will be blessed.
All right. Now, that's starting off. That is insanely crazy because what has happened is that your people, have cursed Israel, the Israelites, for the last 4,000 years. If I might be wrong about that, it may be more like 3,000. So I'm going back to the Greek captivity because if you're familiar with the book, the Maccabees, let's pull it up here. Let's pull this up. See, I'm going in depth on this thing. I'm so blown away at what's being talked about here. That these people don't have a clue what is going on. Nobody knows what's going on. This is the Apocrypha, okay? Forgive me if I seem a little elevated. I am a little bit elevated. This is the Apocrypha. The Apocrypha is historical contextual writings from Israelites during the time of, during various times. But the book that I want to highlight is this Maccabees. Okay, let's go to Maccabees here. I want you to understand what we're dealing with. First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 1. And it happened after that Alexander is the topic here, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and the Medes, that he reigned in his stead, the first over Greece. Okay? Alexander, who are we talking about? Alexander the Greek, who Europeans will say Alexander the Great. Israelites don't say that. This is Alexander the Greek. That's who he was. All right. He took Medo-Persia. All right. And he reigned in his stead. He was the first to reign in Greece and made many wars and won many strongholds and slew the kings of the earth. So now he's come to reign in Greece, and now he's taken over everything that he can. And went through to the ends of the earth and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him. Whereupon he was exalted and his heart was lifted up. So now he's done so much. He's captured so many territories that now he's feeling himself. He's high up, he's like, nobody can stop me. Nobody can defeat me. Verse 4. And he gathered a mighty strong host. That word host means army. And ruled over countries and nations and kings who became tributary unto him. This is written in plain English. There's no interpretation necessary. This is written in plain English, plain Old English. Simple to understand. After that, he fell sick and perceived that he would die. Wherefore he called his servants, who, as were honorable, had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted the kingdom among them while he yet lived. So all this, he rose to power in Greece. He began taking over the earth in various places. And after he subdued most of it, he fell sick. So then he parted his kingdom among his generals, basically, among the people that was with him doing this work. All right. Verse 7. So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died. And his servants bear rule, one in his place. So he's passed this over to his servants, to those people that were with him. And after the death, after his death, they put crowns upon themselves, and as did their sons after them many years. And evils were multiplied in the earth. So Alexander the Greek is dead. Before he died, he parted his kingdom among his friends, and they all made themselves kings and important people, and their children after them, and evil were multiplied in the earth. Evils were. Now, I'm reading you this. We are at King James Bible online. All right, this is not some made up fantasy thing. This is historical contexture. Okay, this is the Israelites documenting what happened to our people, and what's happening is he's setting this up so that we understand here in 2025 what happened during the time of the Greeks. All right. Evils were multiplied in the earth. Verse 10. And there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes. And not only that, he's giving the names, the historical names, so that you understand what has happened in these situations here. Son of Antiochus, the king, who had been hostage at Rome and reigned in 137 years in the kingdom of the Greeks. In those days, there went out of Israel. Now, here's where it comes to us. In those days, there went out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, now, does this not sound like these Negroes today walking around with the MAGA hats, talking about you got to get on this side because this is the best side. This is the best option. You guys are going to lose. You've lost before. You're going to lose again. So in those days, there went out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we have departed from them, we have had much sorrow. Why? Because now you're just focusing on keeping the laws, the statutes, and the commandments of the Most High. These heathen allow you to operate and function in ways that the Most High don't deal with. All right. Verse 12. So this device pleased them well. And certain of the people were and certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinance of the heathen. So the king wrote a decree, gave them a document explaining that it's reasonable for the Yahudim, we're talking about the Yahudim, the Yahwadah, it's reasonable for them to operate in this manner here. Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem, according to the custom of the heathen. The custom of the heathen is bad. It's very bad. They do naked stuff that is unsavory to set apart people. All right, not our ways. We don't do stuff like that. All right, verse 15. And made themselves uncircumcised and forsook the set apart covenant and joined themselves to the heathen and were sold to do mischief. So all that has occurred here is the Israelites going off after the Greeks and going into foolishness, sin, and wickedness, following after these other nations. This has always been the problem with the Israelites, is that we look at somebody else, at another nation, and think, man, that looks fun. We should be doing that. And it's never all of us, it's always some of us. And it becomes a problem. Now, when the kingdom was established before Antiochus, he thought to reign over Egypt or Mizraim, that he might have dominion over two realms. So now he wants to take the area of Egypt. Egypt was already secured. Okay, so now he's ready to go against his buddy, the one that Alexander split the kingdom up with. So now he's going against him. So you got white on white violence here. That's what we're reading. Wherefore he entered into Mizraim with a great multitude, with chariots and elephants, horsemen, and a great navy, and made war against Pompey, king of Mizraim. But Pompey was afraid of him and fled, and many were wounded to death. So now they're fighting. They're fighting, and he ran from it. So he's like, I'm gonna get up out of here, man. This dude is crazy. Verse 19. For thus, so they got strong cities in the land of Egypt, and he took him spoils thereof. And after that, Antiochus had smitten Egypt. He returned again in the 143rd year and went up against Israel and Jerusalem with a great multitude. So now he done took Mizraim, he took Egypt. So now he's coming to Israel, to the Yahudim, to the Yahwadah that are they're still in the land. So now he wants that. And entered proudly into the sanctuary and took away the golden altar and the candlesticks of light. That's the menorah, by the way. And the menorah of light and all the vegetables thereof. And the table of showbread and the pouring vegetables and all the vegetables. And the censers of gold and the veil and the crown and the golden ornaments that were before the temple, all which he pulled off. So what are we seeing here? He stole all our stuff, all the stuff that we had accumulated for the Most High. These heathen came into the temple and stole it. Everything that we had for the Most High that a heathen would deem as valuable, he stole it. Stole all our stuff. I'm saying our stuff because we had it for the Most High. He took also the silver and the gold and the precious victuals. Also, he took the hidden treasure which he found. So he took the hidden treasure. What do you think the hidden treasure was? We're going to find out. Let's continue. Verse 24. And when he had taken all away, he went into his own land, having made a great massacre, and spoke very proudly. Now he at home talking reckless. Yeah, look what I did to those Israelites. The power of Israel is nothing. And all manner of foolishness this idiot is speaking. Only reason he was able to do this is because of us, because of our sin, our wickedness. Because if the Most High had been with us, we would have wiped these idiots out. They would have you'd have never heard of the Greeks. Soon as they would have looked at Jerusalem, they would have been smited to the earth and put under the earth. That would have been the history of the Greeks. You'd have never heard of them. Verse 25. Wherefore there was a great mourning in Israel in every place where they were. So now all these things have happened, and now all we can do is mourn. Because number one, evil has been done to us, but greater than that, our power is not with us. And that's the biggest reason to mourn. So now you want to be high up on these heathen culture. Our power is not with us. We out here by ourselves. Without a power in the earth, the only power in Shamaim is not with us. So we are at a grave disadvantage. Verse 26. So that the princes and the elders mourned, and the virgins and the young men were made feeble, and the beauty of women was changed. This is where they start looking at these heathen women, these Caucasians, and they're looking at them as if they are something special, because the beauty of women was changed here. Verse 27. Every bridegroom took up lamentations, and she that sat in the marriage chamber was in heaviness. So now our people are mourning, and they do a magnificent job of illustrating the mourning here. Verse 28, the land also was moved for the inhabitants thereof, and all the house of Jacob was covered with confusion. Covered with confusion. And after 2 years fully expired, the king sent his chief collector of tribute into the city of Judea, who came into Jerusalem with a great multitude. So now, 2 years later, he wants money. So he's sending his collector, and they came in with all these people with him. And our people, we were so ill prepared, because here he came. Watch what happens. And spake peaceable words unto them. Who is them? These are the children of Israel, the Yahudim, the Yahwadah. But all was deceit. So he came in here with he came into Jerusalem with some, listen, we know things have gone bad, and it really got out of hand. And I'm very sorry that these things went the way they did. What we want here is to put this all behind us and to move forward. And what I want to see from you guys is that you'll just pay the tribute. And if you pay the tribute, everything else will be fine. And we'll just move ahead with everything from there. And, there won't be any more problems. That's what he came in there with. But all was deceit. For when they had given him credence, oh yeah, you can come in and collect the tribute. That's no problem. Come on in, and we'll set you up right over here. And this is where our people will come and make payment, and I'll take care of things. So when they gave him credence, he fell suddenly upon the city and smote it very sore and destroyed much people of Israel. So now, as soon as we let him in and we think things are going to be copacetic, he begins to attack. This is the history from here, where Caucasians have been problematic for the children of Israel. Right here is where the children of Israel have come into contact with the Caucasians, and it's been problematic. Before, we were dealing with the Babylonians, we were dealing with the Assyrians, we were dealing with the Mizrahites, we're dealing with the Philistines, we're dealing with the Canaanites. All these are Hamitic peoples. Dealing with the Hamites. So enter in the Greeks and all these people coming in here to cause us problems. All right. I don't want to read this whole thing, but I will, because they did horrible, horrific things. I'll leave this for you to read. This is the book of Maccabees. Again, we are at King James Bible Online. If you go to King James Bible Online and if you scroll down to the very bottom of any page, it's going to give you this menu here. You can find King James Standard, 1611, the introduction, and the King James Version Apocrypha. That's what I was reading to you from. When you click on this, it shows you these various books. Some of these books you never heard of, but you need to know what is going on here. If you are so-called Negro, you need to understand this book of Maccabees. This book will make you cry. Once you understand that this is you and your people that this has happened to, this book will make you cry. This book will make you angry, because these people were animals in how they dealt with us. Animals in how they dealt with our people. Animals in how they operated against us. They did everything possible that they could to cause us harm. Everything. All right, let's get back to the video, Salaki. I didn't even mean to jump all into that, but let's get back to the video.
So I viewed it as that Israel as a country is special. It's chosen. Basically, we always want to be on the side of Israel. Always want to be an ally to Israel.
Who's we?
Christians.
Okay.
Well, and I would say America.
So the two people, the two groups who have had the biggest problem with the Israelites, Christians and Americans, Caucasians. These people, it's not, and don't get me wrong, it's not isolated just to them. Like I mentioned before, we're talking about the Mizrahites, the Egyptians, the Babylonians, the Canaanites, the Philistines, who are part of the Mizrahites, the Egyptians. All of these people are enemies of Israel. All of them. All of them have a problem with the Israelites. All of them. And all of them have had us in captivity at one time or another. So here's the reality. You're not going to get away. Just during the time of the Maccabees did the Greeks add to it. So let's continue.
I grew up with that understanding.
I was raised very Southern Baptist.
So yeah, they're talking about, and I'm not going. I'm gonna stop. So they're just talking about their history as they understand it of the religious perspective. She says she's Southern Baptist. The other lady says she's believed this and that. But the miseducation is what I'm trying to point out here. Regardless of what Christian sect that you come up with, your denomination does not separate you from the foundational miseducation of Christianity. It is fundamentally miseducational, because If you were a true Christian, you would be kissing the feet of the people you hate the most, of the so-called black man, woman, and child. You would be kissing the feet of the children of Israel. And you would be serving us here and now. But the reason you don't is because you know in your heart that you are inferior and that the Most High have chosen us to be his representatives in the earth. And so because you have a problem with that, there's an instinctual hatred against the so-called black people, so-called black. It's really the Negroes, because a lot of people can be so-called black, but the Negroes, and the reason I say the Negroes, if you're familiar with a man, if you're not familiar with him, let's educate here. Let's educate. I want to show you something here. All right. There was a man whose name was Yahya. His name was Yahya Negro. Now, they try to change it to Yahya ben Rabbi. Reason being is because they don't want to tell you that this man was Negro. So they call him Yahya ben Rabbi. So this is talking about him being a teacher. That's what a rabbi is. Yahya ben Rabbi. All right. Yahya was a Negro. In Portugal, he helped the Portuguese fight against the Moors. And when he helped the Portuguese fight against the Moors, he did such a valiant job at destroying the Moors that the king of Portugal gave him village of the Negroes. However you say that in Espanol, in the Spaniard language. He gave them the village of the Negroes. So this is where all the Negroes in Portugal lived. This is historical context. But again, they're trying to change the names of the situations. So they're trying to change him to Yahya ben Rabbi. It was Yahya Negro is his name. Yahya Negro. They called him Negro as he was black as night, and he was a direct descendant of King Dawid. And he was amazing on the battlefield. And he smited the Moors for the sake of these of Portugal, and was awarded a village, the village of the Negroes. This is historical context. Cannot be denied. They can try to change the information. See this crap? Yahya ben Rabbi. It's Yahya Negro is his name. All right, so let's continue here. Let's get back to the video.
Very normal for our location currently. Definitely evangelical, conservative, Bible Belt, Southern. Not a surprise. And very much so raised in dispensationalism, rapture theology.
Yes. Yep.
And I remember reading the Left Behind series in late middle school and just thinking, this is the center of my faith.
Yeah, their fathers have inherited lies. That's what the scriptures say. But you know what? Let's go to it. Let's go to it. We're going to teach here. We're going to learn some stuff here. let me see. Let's go to here. Let's here. Let me just bring it up right here. Give me 1/2 a moment here. We're gonna teach some stuff here. We're gonna get some understanding of what is really going on, and we're gonna dispel all this misnomer. All right. Let's start right here. Yirmiyahu, chapter 16, verse 19. O Yahweh, my strength and my fortress and my refuge in the days of affliction, the Gentiles shall come unto you from the ends of the earth and sing, surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit. Now, this is primarily speaking about our people, our people who have went into idolatry and false religions and all these other things. But also these heathen are going to do this as well, because all this crap that they believe, Left Behind series and the rapture, all this other stuff, bullcrap. That's why they say, oh, the rapture was coming. Oh, the rapture will be here. It's going to come. It's going to be the day after tomorrow. And you better be prepared. Otherwise, bullcrap. We still here. We still here because your religion is made up. It's not real. It's fake. It's not authentic. It's a what's the word where you it's a knockoff. It's a counterfeit. It's not the real thing. You are people holding the Bible, saying that they're Christians, as if that means something. Don't open the book, don't read it, don't get understanding of it. Because if you understand what you're reading the history, past, present, and future of the children of Israel, who is a specific people who live in the earth, a specific people who the Most High have not forsaken forever, but for a short time. Let's get back to it.
Wow. These things are going to happen, and I have to be one of these, the forefront of one of these people. And it just shot me right into it. I'm not an expert on it. I'm not teaching classes on it. I don't know how Israel falls in all of that, but I know that it was the belief that it was the epicenter of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And Jews were special and set apart in a different way. And just because they didn't believe in Christ, they were still God's people. And it was this whole thing. So all of my understanding of modern day Israel was wrapped up in end times theology.
So again, I mean, it's all lies. None of it makes any sense. But this is just the precursor to the actual story. Let's continue.
So that's what a lot of us were taught. Then it gets to the point where you start to look a little bit further and you're like, okay, well, wait a minute now. Let's see who the indigenous people are. And people.
I'll be careful of that word indigenous. The indigenous people were the Canaanites. But guess what? That land got taken over by the Israelites. The Most High have delivered that land into the hand of the Israelites. And our ancestors historically took that land and made it into ours. And we were operating in that land up until these captivities, where the Most High took away that ability that we had at that time and allowed our adversaries to come against us and destroy us. Let's continue.
People are starting to ask questions, especially after October 7th. People are starting to look into this a little bit more now. Again, these two women were raised as Christians. Listen to this part.
Palestinians have more ethnic and genetic ties to ancient Israel than modern Israelis?
The reason Palestinians have more ancient ties is because Palestinians are Shemitic. What does it mean to be Shemitic? So there are three sons. Let's continue teaching here. Three sons post flood. Bereshit, chapter number 10, Genesis, chapter number 10, verse number 1. It says, now these are the generations, let me make it big so we can see. Now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And unto them were sons born after the flood. So these are the people who repopulated the earth. Noah, the father of these three, you have the Shemitic people, you have the Hamitic people, and you have the Japhetic people. If you are Hamitic or Japhetic, you're not going to show DNA like the Shemitic people are. So if you come from the line of Shem, you're going to have very similar DNA. Let's drop down to verse 21. 21. It says, let's make it big. It says, unto Shem also, the father of all the children of Eber. This word Eber, this is where the modern word Hebrew comes from. Eber is Ibrim that has more transformed into Hebrew. To be Hebrew means that you are a descendant of Eber. All right, so let's read it from the top. Unto Shem also, the father of all the children of Eber, the brother of Japhet, the elder, even unto him were children born. All right. And then it goes into the children, goes into their names: Elam, Ashur, Alphaxdan, Lud, Aram, and it gives you the genealogies. Okay. Unto Eber, verse 25. And unto Eber were born two sons. The name of one was Peleg, for in his days was the earth divided. And his brother's name was Yoktan. So he had a brother named Yoktan, and his name was Peleg. For in his days, the earth was divided. What do you think Peleg means? Peleg means earthquake. Earthquake caused the earth to divide. So the earth was one piece, and then it divided. So that Pangea, that supercontinent you learned about in social studies, actually has some validity to it. And it has validity because it's written in the book of the Israelites, in the scriptures. All right. So if you come from Eber, you're going to have Shemitic ancestry or Hebrew ancestry, and it's going to show that you are part, as you're close in genealogy to the Israelites. All right. So let's come here to the next chapter, chapter 11. We're going to skip down here. You can read all this on your own. This is chapter 10 and chapter 11 to get some understanding. We're going to look at verse 14 here. Verse 14. It says, and Salah lived 30 years and begot Eber. So at 30 years old, his father had him. His name was Eber. He is who we call today Hebrew. Don't even realize when you say Hebrew, you're talking about a man. All right. And Salah lived after he begot Eber 400 years, 403 years, and begot sons and daughters. And Eber lived 34 years and begot Peleg. So why is he mentioning just Peleg here? Because Peleg is going to get us through the genealogy right here to this very important man, Abram. When you go from Peleg to Abram, to Terah, and then to Abram. Why is Abram important? Because this is the origin of the children of Israel. That's the whole premise of the book, the children of Israel. Because out of the children of Israel comes the Redeemer, the Savior, Hamashiach, the Messiah, Yahushua, the Messiah. Notice I didn't say that JC term because he's not Hamashiach. Continuing.
Okay, then modern Israelis.
Yes. So current Israel is not the Israel of the Bible.
Of course not. And that's why the Palestinians have more of a connection, because those Palestinians are Arabs. Arabs have a more connection to the Israelites, because we come from Abraham, and we come from Shem.
Current Israel, the state.
Yes.
Okay.
The people who are native and indigenous to that land actually do have genetic ties to ancient Israel. The people who make up modern day Israel are not from there.
All right, let's get the ancient ties here, right here in the same book. So, again, let's start with verse 26. We're still chapter 11 in Genesis. Chapter 11, verse 26. It says, and Terah lived 70 years and begot Abraham, Nahor, and Haran. These are the generations of Terah. Terah begot Abram, Nahor, and Haran. And Haran begot Lot. So Lot came from Haran, who is the son of Terah, the brother of Abram. Okay, and he passed away. So as we continue, this is chapter 11. Let's jump to chapter number 16. And I'll give you a brief synopsis of this. All right, real quick. Genesis 16:1. Now Sarai, Abram's wife, bare him no children, and she had a handmaid, an Egyptian or a Mizraite, whose name was Hagar. All right, and she said unto Abram, behold, now Yahweh have restrained me from bearing. I pray you, I'm begging you, go into my maid. It may be that I may obtain children by her. And Abram hearkened to the voice of Sarai. So what did he do? And Sarai, Abram's wife, took Hagar, her maid, the Mizraite, after Abram had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, and gave her to her husband Abram to be his wife. So what happened? And he went in unto Hagar, and she conceived. And when she saw she had conceived, her mistress was despised in her eyes. So his wife gave him her maid, Hagar, the Egyptian. He took her, married her, laid with her, and she conceived. So now she's pregnant with his child. All right. Let's jump down. Verse 10. Now, there was a spat between her and Sarai, and she fled. She ran away. So this is what happens. She's visited now by Amalek. She says, and the Amalek of Yahweh said unto her, this is Hagar, I will multiply your seed exceedingly, that it shall not be numbered for multitude. And the Malach of Yahweh said unto her, Behold, you are with child and shall bear a son, and his name shall be, you shall call his name Ishmael, because Yahweh have heard your affliction. So Ishmael is the product of this union. Abram, the Hebrew, had a son with Hagar, the Egyptian, the Mizrite, and there we get Ishmael. This is how you get the Arabs. This is not the beginning of the Arabs, but this is an addition to the Arabs. All right. Let's see some more. And he shall be a wild man, and his hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him. And he shall dwell in the presence of all of his brethren. Who are his brethren? Let's get a look at his brethren real quick. Bereshit 25, verse 1. And again, Abram took a wife, and her name was Keturah, and she bare him many children: Zimran, Yakshan, Median, Midain, Ishbak, and Shua. And they had many children. That's not the important thing. The important thing is these are the brethren of Ishmael. If you read further into the text, you'll figure out that the Ishmaelites and these brothers of him are indistinguishable. They are literally indistinguishable. So much that the scriptures called the Midianites Ishmaelites. They are indistinguishable because they dwell in the same area. They are basically the same people. They have very similar DNA. They're all children of Abraham. All right. That's why you get these. And not only that, let's go to 19 real quick. Let me show you another couple of them. This is the story of Lot here after he escaped Sodom and Gomorrah. This is chapter 19 and verse 36. Thus were born the daughters of Lot. It's like those were both the daughters of Lot with child by their father. And the first bare a son and called his name Moab. The same is the father of the Moabites unto this day. And the younger, she bare a son and called his name Ben-Ammi. The same is the father of the children of Ammon unto this day. So these are more Arabs. How do we know that they're Arabs? Because when they found out that the Moabites and the Ammonites could not come into the congregation, that they separated, all the people separated. They left. They're like, oh, y'all ain't rocking with our brethren? Oh, we out of here. We up out of here. And what another thing? Let me jump one other place. I'm gonna show you one last thing real quick, and we'll get back to the video. Back to chapter 10. Back to chapter 10 here. This cat right here. Yoktan. And his brother's name was Yoktan. Yoktan had 13 sons. All right. To Eber were 2 sons born. So Yoktan is also Hebrew. Why is he Hebrew? Because he is a direct descendant of Eber. He's a direct descendant of the one who Hebrew comes from. All right. Were born 2 sons. The name of one was Peleg, and in his days the earth was divided, and his brother's name was Yoktan. And Yoktan begot, he had 13 sons. The name of his sons are not very important for the sake of understanding. I'm just showing you that these are Arab tribes. These were in the land of the Arabs in Arabia before Ishmael was ever born. These are Arab tribes. So when Ishmael showed up, there were already Arabs in the area. And guess what? They're Hebrew. They're from Shem as well. They're from Eber as well. Let's continue the video.
Where are they from?
Mostly Eastern European countries.
Not
Because
European.
of I don't know, but like the migration or something that happened?
Yeah. This comes.
It's called conversion. The Caucasians converted. It's not their heritage. They converted.
This has been one of the most interesting flips from a pro-Israel stance that we've been able to watch. I'd say actually the most entertaining to watch. Azealia Banks has been an extremely, extremely pro-Israel celebrity. She is a rapper, an American singer, and she has been, during the genocide, one of the biggest, loudest supporters of Israel. In fact, but she's now switching her tune. She's in Israel and she's saying things in Israel. And now she's starting to say things like, I want to get out of here now. In fact, I want to leave now is what she's saying. She says, I heard there's a whole community of Black Americans in Israel and I need to find them. Now, she was talking about, she wanted to find American Black women so that she could figure out how to do her hair, like where to go to get her hair done. Like she wanted a weave or a wig.
Oh, what an idiot. So the Yahudim, the children of Israel, the true Israelites that are in Dimona, they don't do weaves and wigs. They are set apart to the Most High. They wear natural woolly hair. They don't wear weaves and wigs and all of this foolish stuff. They are women set apart unto the Most High, not modernized, wicked, Western-minded women who want weaves and wigs. So you go to Israel, any of you so-called Black women who go to Israel, don't go over there looking for the beauty shop because you're going to come out with some Afro puffs. That's the natural state of our hair. And that's what they're going to put you in. And then they're going to cover it. Let's continue.
Ended up receiving a slew of hate from a bunch of Israeli Jews that were basically like, oh, you mean those Black Jews? They're not real Jews. And that's basically like leaving but are the Black Americans or a wig or something like that? That is literally why she put this post out. Like, where are the Black Americans so that I can get my hair did? That's like what she's saying. But
I hate when these Caucasoids try to act like they cool with the culture. Like they got some kind of a ghetto pass trying to get my hair did. Switch, shut up.
What happened was she ended up receiving a slew of hate from a bunch of Israeli Jews that were basically like, oh, you mean those Black Jews? They're not real Jews. And that's what she then was like, whoa, wait a minute. Why am I getting all of this like sudden Black people aren't real Jews? And she started seeing all this racism coming from the Israelis and Zionists. And she was just like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And it caused her to flip her tune. This is some of the posts that she received.
Surprise, the Muslims, the Arab Muslims, are racist against the children of Israel. The Caucasian so-called Jews are racist against the children of Israel. The other Caucasians are racist against the children of Israel. The Black, so-called Black Egyptians are racist against the children of Israel. The South Sudanese are racist against the children of Israel. The Canaanites are racist against the children of everybody's racist against the children of Israel. Nobody likes the children of Israel because the children of Israel are the chosen of the Most High. How are you going to like the people that the Most High chose above you? How is that going to look? I like you more than I like myself because the Most High have chosen you to rule over me. They don't like that, but they'll accept that these Caucasians are in rulership, and they'll bow the knee to them because they're afraid of them. They're afraid of their weapons. But you better be afraid of the children of Israel, especially when Hamashiach returns, because that Israelite is going to bring blood. Let's continue.
As an example, so here's one saying, you might be thinking about the African Hebrew Israelites in Dimona. It's a community of about 5,000 Black Americans who believe they're the true Israelites. The group was founded in Chicago by former steelworker Ben Carter and arrived to Israel in 1969. And then another person wrote, you're straight up making stuff up. Judaism started in the Levant. Ethiopian and most Black Jewish communities aren't direct descendants. Ancient African religions aren't Israelite Judaism. And Black or Arab people have zero claim to being Israelites. And unlike them, Ashkenazism have majority Levantine ancestry.
No, they don't. Ashkenazis are from, let's see where they're from. Let's see where they're from. Back to the Genesis chapter 10, the Table of Nations. Let's start from the top. These are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And unto them were the sons born after the flood. The sons of Japheth, Gomer, Magog, Madai, Yavan, Tubal, Meshach, and Tyrus. The sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz. Let's make that big on the screen here. Sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz. 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 Isn't that coincidence? The European so-called Jews call themselves Ashkenaz. Ashkenazi. Well, the son of Gomer is Ashkenaz. Gomer, who is the son of Japheth, is Ashkenaz. And by the way, their bloodline does not coincide with Shem whatsoever. Not only are they not Hebrew, they're not Shemitic because they're Japhetic. They come from Japheth, not from the children of Israel, not from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, not from Eber. They're not Hebrew. They are converts from Japheth, Ashkenaz. Y'all don't know this? What are they teaching y'all? What are they teaching you?
And this person writes, girl, Black people were never even in the Levant. What are you on? It is even highly questioned to think that there's relevant amounts of Black people in Egypt. And now you want to believe that not just a few, but a whole of Israelites were Black? What is this? Here's another. Do you have any real reason to believe that Blacks are more related to ancient Israelites than Jews are? Or is this just something you believe for egotistic reasons?
Yeah, it's called history. Yeah, I have 100% reason to believe that the so-called Black man, woman, and child are the children of Israel. It's called history. Yaya Negro? Yeah. Village of the Negroes? The decree that came down from Spain and Portugal to enslave the Yahudim, the Yahawada. When you find them, you can take their stuff and sell them into captivity. That was the decree that came down from Spain and from Portugal against the children of the Yahudim, the Yahawada, the Israelites of the southern kingdom.
And then Azealia responded to this and said, this is not even what was said. And this whole thing really just shows how adverse to concepts of Black Jewry you guys all are. Like watching you all jump through hoops and having Jews text me this and that, whatever. It's quite irritating and embarrassing. How did you just make this up? And yeah, so I mean, it's very. So she ends up getting this slew of like, don't talk to us about Black Jews. There's no such thing. and she's like, okay. She starts to question everything. Here's a tweet. This is actually a producer for this show, Benjamin Rubenstein, tweeted, learned a bit too much about how Ethiopian Jews are treated. And Azealia actually retweeted his tweet out and said, it's kind of given that, like, yeah, Ethiopian Black Jews in Israel, they're very much discriminated against. There's a lot of racism in Israel.
Azealia Banks, whoever you are, whatever you do to earn a living. My name is Azealia. That is a Hebrew Israelite name. Comes straight out of the scriptures. When you read it in the scriptures, you read it as Hezekiah. Hezekiah is the English rendition of the name Hazakiyahu. Okay? My sister, the people that you are trying to support, rather the Jews or the Palestinians, they are against us. They are against you and I. They're not for us. They're not standing with us. They're standing against us. And if we help them fight them against the other or on either side, they will turn and put their knife, their sword in our backs. We have no place standing with these people, regardless of what side you want to choose. We have no side, period, in this conflict. Let the Palestinians and the Jews do what they want to one to another. They have nothing to do with us from a historical friendship place. The Jews, not the Jews, the Palestinians are ancient enemies of ours. We fought against them. It's all in the scriptures. We fought against them at so many various times. So many times. I'm trying to think of a quick one I can jump to. Chapter 6. Let's go to Judges, chapter 6. Here we go. Let's go to Judges chapter 6. Verse 1. It says, and the children, let me make it big so we can see it. Judges chapter 6 and verse 1. And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of Yahweh, and Yahweh delivered them into the hands of Midian 7 years. Who is Midian? Who is Midian? Well, we just looked at Midian. I didn't go over the names of them. We just looked at Midian in Genesis chapter 25. And again, Abraham took a wife, and her name was Keturah, and she bare him Zimran and Yakshan, and Midian, and Madian, and Ishbak, and Shua. These are the Midianites, right here. Midian. These are the Midianites. Indistinguishable from the Ishmaelites. They're brothers from the father of Abraham. We're brothers. Abraham is our father. Abraham had Ishmael, these boys, and Isaac. All right? Ancient enemies. The Jews, ancient enemies. They're not as ancient as the Midianites. The Midianites are more ancient. but they're ancient in the sense that where we are today, in time we are today, they're ancient as well. Let's continue.
Surprise, surprise. And it's not just against the Palestinians or the Arabs. It's also obviously against Black Jews. Many people try to tell Azealia that, over the time that she's been so pro-Israel, a lot of people have said to her, you realize how they treat Blacks, right? Like, this is not the country you should be championing. And then for her to be saying, Black people should not support Palestine because look at what the Muslims do to Black people, even though much of the Muslim world is, this is how ignorant she is.
Most of the Muslim world has colonized Black people. So you have the Somalis who are Muslim. Let me show you something. Show you something else. Let me show you something else. We're teaching today. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Israel, Yasha'al, Yasha'Allah. Hallelujah. Psalms 83. Keep not thy silence, O Yah. Hold not your peace. Be not still, O power. For lo, thine enemies, the enemies of the Most High, make a tumult. They that hate you. Who they hate? They hate the Most High. Have lifted up the head. They have said, come. They have taken crafty counsel against your people and consulted against your hidden ones. They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, so that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. They have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against you, O Yahweh, O power of Israel, the tabernacles of Edom, the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, who are Edom, who are the Ishmaelites, who is Moab, who is the Hagarenes. Edom is an offshoot of Arabs. Ishmael are Arabs. Moab are Arabs. Hagarenes are Arabs. These are the children of Hagar. Remember Hagar had Ishmael? She took a wife for Ishmael, a Mizraite, and she had more children. Those are called the Hagarenes. Her children are named after her instead of being named after the man that gave her the children, which tells you what? She was champion of single motherhood. Gabal and Ammon, Amalek, and the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Gabal, who is Gabal? Arab. Ammon, Arab. Amalek, Arab. The Philistines. These are Hamitic people. These are actually part of the Mizraites, the Egyptians. And the inhabitants of Tyre. Tyre, also Hamitic people. So you see how these Arabs are bringing in, and I said that. I've looked at Gabal, Salakia. My apologies. I got to back up real quick because I don't want to show you or say something that's incorrect. And I may have to correct that real quick here. Give me 1 second. Let me prove what I'm saying here. I don't want to just be making up something. Not making up. I don't want to be saying something incorrectly. All right. Real quick. So this is the Blue Letter Bible. It gives us a concordance. Gabal, right here. This is H1381. Gabal, a boundary. A mountainous area south of the Dead Sea. Yeah. Gabal, a region in Idumea, which is Arabia, which makes Gabal Arabs. So I said it correctly. I just didn't want to say it incorrectly and it be the wrong thing. They're from Idumea. That means that they're Arabs. This word, Idumea, means Edom. Edom is Arabia. Arab, Arabia. All right. How you know Edom is Arabia? Well, let's see. Let me show you something else. And I didn't even mean to go into this thing like this. But I'm giving it to you. I'm giving it to you. You're gonna get it today. You're gonna learn today. Chapter 7. 7. 1 second here. Some of this I haven't looked at in a while. And a little bit, I shouldn't say a while. Give me one half a second here. Bear with me just 1/2 second. All right, I got it. Let's see here. Here we go. How do we know that it was the Arabs? Let's see. That's not what I was looking for. That's not what I was looking for. Slacky, my bad. I didn't go down far enough. All right, here we go. First Maccabees 5:65. It says, afterwards went Yehudis forward with his brethren and fought against the children of Esau, Idumeans, Edomites, Esau. These are all the same people. Idumeans, Edomites, Esau, Amalek. These are all the same people. It says Yehudis. This is Yehudis Maccabeus. Went forth with his brethren and fought against the children of Esau in the land towards the south, where he smote Hebron and the towns thereof, and pulled down the fortresses of it, and burned the towers round about. From there he removed into the land of the Philistines and passed through Samaria. All right. That's not really what I was looking for, but that does give us some clarity. So fought against you know what? My bad. I had to look at that again. Okay, here we go. This is what I was looking for. Slaki. My apologies. Maccabees, first Maccabees 5 in chapter 3. It says, and Yehudis fought against the children of Esau in Idumea. At, where did they fight? At Adab Time. This is the name of their city in Idumea. Adab Time. These are Arabs, the children of Esau in Idumea are Arabs because they besieged Gilead and gave them great overthrow and obeyed their courage and took their spoil. So we went in there and smacked them and took their stuff. All right. That's what the children of Israel did. So that's how we know that these are Arabs. So when we go to Psalms 83 and you see them listed, these are our Arab nations. These are our ancient enemies because we were chosen and they were not. If you understand the historical context, Esau is the eldest. Jacob is the younger. And the scriptures say the elder will serve the younger. But Esau wanted it for himself once he gave it to Jacob. He wanted the blessing for himself, but he gave it to Jacob. Let's jump to that real quick. Real quick. I'm taking my time. I don't know why I keep saying real quick. Genesis 25 and verse 20. It says, and Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, and the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of Padaram, the sister of Laban, the Syrian. And Isaac entreated Yahweh for his wife, because she was barren. And Yahweh was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. And the children struggled together within her. The one, and she said, if it be so, then why am I like this? And she went to inquire of Yahweh. And Yahweh said unto her, two nations are in your womb, two manner of people shall be separated from your bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. The first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold of Esau's heel, and his name was called Yaakov. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. And the boys grew, and Esau became a cunning hunter, a man of the field. And Yaakov was a plain man, dwelling in tents. And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison. But Rebekah loved Yaakov. Why did Rebekah love Yaakov? Because Yaakov is the son of promise. If you read this entire account and understand all of this, you'll see that Amalek came to her and told her, well, we just read it. We just read it, actually. She went to see about why she was having these pains in her stomach, if she was supposed to have children for her husband. And that's when she found out two nations are in your womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from your bowels. All right. Let's get back to the video.
Much of the Muslim world is literally in Africa. Like,
no, it's not. Majority of the Muslim world is Arabs. Majority of Arabs are Muslim. There are like three different types of Muslims: Sunni, Shiite, and I forget the third one. But they make up the majority of the Muslim world. Now you also have some Somalians, some Philistines, some Canaanites, some various other Hamitic people who practice Islam. Guess what? Because our power had left us, a lot of our people had practiced Islam. Coming into the understanding of the truth, our people were coming out of Islam to get things right, to return to the Most High, the power of our fathers, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So that's true or not true?
Lots of black people are Muslims, lots and lots.
And guess what else? The original Muslims, the original Arabs are also black. Yeah, there's still some black Arabs over there. Yeah.
A whole big chunk of Africa, in fact. And she's like, the Muslims treat Africans like shit. And so we should support Jews. And then she goes over there and realizes, wait a minute, suddenly all of these Israelis are like, yeah, but the black Jews aren't Jews. And so she's, starting to be like, wait, okay, there's a bunch of racists here. So she starts to turn on Israel. And now these are the tweets. She's in Israel, and these are the tweets that she's putting out there. She says, Palestinians have more Semitic DNA than Ashkenazi Jews. So that means even Palestinians are more Jewish than Ashkenazis. Honestly, the Jews are getting effing boring.
Okay. Palestinians do have more Semitic DNA because they are actually Semitic. The Ashkenazis are Japhetic, not the same from the sons of Noah. You're talking about the three branch tree, and one branch goes a completely different way. The Semitic branch goes a different way, and the Hamitic branch goes a completely different way. So you're talking about the Japhetic branch making claim to the Semitic branch. So, of course, those on the Semitic branch have more DNA than those on the Japhetic branch. But neither of them are Israelites. Just because you're Semitic doesn't make you an Israelite. All Israelites are Semitics, but not all Semitic people are Israelites. All three children, people after the flood, are sons of Noah. But all are not the chosen people. You only have one chosen people out of all the people in the earth, and that is the children of Israel.
And this is why you have no friends, she says. Then she goes on to say, like, what are you all even talking about? You're effing white Europeans. Grow the F up. I have 2 eyes. I can see.
She's right. They are white Caucasian Europeans. They're European Caucasians. They're not Yahudim. They're not Yahawadah. They are what the world calls Jews, which is not our term, which is why I'm comfortable calling them Jews, because we're not Jews. They're Jews. That is a fake term that they have put on themselves. We are Yahawadah, Yahudim, not Jews. They're Jews. We are the children of Yehuda, Yahawadah. That's what it means to be a Yahawadah. To be a child, it means you are a children of Yahawadah. You are a son of Yahawadah. You are a daughter of Yahawadah. Your lineage goes back to Yahawadah. Continue.
And she says, oh, now it's heritage. This person writes, heritage is more than just DNA. Some Palestinians may carry genes, but Jews preserve the culture, language, and religion across millennia. DNA without lived continuity does not transmit the spiritual or cultural legacy of the Israelites. And she's like, oh, now.
So now they try to say that you have to have some kind of it's not about the DNA, it's about the heritage. Because we call ourselves Jews and we operate in Israel, that makes us the true people. No, it doesn't. That makes you imposters. That makes you thieves. That makes you liars. So you're telling me that because you stole something, it makes it rightfully yours? Because you stole it? It makes it rightfully yours? That's ridiculous. But that's what they're saying. Let's continue.
Now it's heritage. It's not even about DNA. It's heritage.
Remember not too long ago, after October 7th, we had a conversation on this show about the indigenous people. And there were a number of times I told you guys that if you actually look it up, Palestinians are Semites.
Shemites.
So when people say that something is anti-Semitic, the Palestinians are Semites. It's not just Jewish people, it's also Arab.
You, sister girl, if your father is a so-called Negro, you are a Shemite. Whether you know it or don't know it, you are Shemite.
People as well? right? So remember that it was Britain that decided that this is going to be a homeland for the Jewish people. And remember, the Rothschild were a part of this. Lord Rothschild, we went through this whole thing before as well. Theodore Herzl, the father of Zionism, was also, they made this decision, is that this is where they would go so that they would be safe, a safe place for them, of course, after the atrocities of the Holocaust, right?
Palestinians have more ethnic and genetic ties to ancient Israel than modern Israelis.
Okay, than modern Israelis.
Yes. So current Israel is not the Israel of the Bible.
Palestinians have more Shemitic ancestors than any Israelis, not modern, any Israelis, because Israelis are Japhetic and Palestinians are Shemitic. You have to understand the children of Noah. First of all, when you understand the children of Noah, that puts you in the place to understand who is who belongs where. All right, let's continue.
Current Israel, the state.
Yes.
Okay.
The people who are native and indigenous to that land actually do have genetic ties to ancient Israel. The people who make up modern day Israel are not from there.
Where are they from?
Mostly Eastern European countries.
Because of the, I don't know, but like the migration or something that
Yes,
happened?
yeah. This comes from a historical professor, and he is brilliant. The majority of Palestinians are of Jewish descent. The majority of Palestinians, the people who are being annihilated right now, are of Jewish descent and are ethnically more Jewish than the European and American Jews who went and created Israel. So every time
So there's no such thing as more Jewish. There is no such thing as more Jewish. They keep saying the same stupid stuff. It's stupid to say that. Because to be Jewish, okay, so Jewish is a made-up word. Again, the term Jew is supposed to be a shortening for Judah. Okay, Judah is the English rendition of the fourth son of Jacob. His name was Yehoiada, or it could be pronounced Yehuda. Okay, either way, no problem. Yehuda, Yehoiada, whatever the case. But in English, you would say Judah. So from Judah, you get Jews. Because it's English, let them have that bullcrap. I don't care about that. I'm not going to stand for something in English. Okay, I know I'm speaking English, but that's because this is the land of my captivity, and this is the language that we've been given. I should be speaking Yoruba, or I should be speaking Swahili, or I should be speaking one of the other Bantu languages, because the Bantu languages are our languages. You understand? So you can't be more Jewish or more Yehoiada than another. You're either Yehoiada or you're not. So there's no, you're more Yehoiada than I. No. Either you're Yehoiada or you're not. Either your father, that line comes straight down. It's not more or not. And I know these Jews say that you're Jewish by your mother, but that's not what the scriptures teach. The scriptures teach that your pedigree comes through your father. You have to show your father's house to prove that you are a Yehoiada, or a Levite, or a Simeonite, or Ephraimite, or Manassite, or Reubenite, or Nathalite, or any of the other tribes that I didn't mention by name. Continue.
Palestinian is murdered by an Israeli, a person who's more Jewish is murdered by a person who's less Jewish. It's true that the Israeli is practicing Judaism or is a secular Jew. And it's true that those Palestinians who are Christians and Muslims, whose ancestors converted to Christianity and Islam, but it's just a weird, ironic twist that the people who are closer related genetically to ancient Israel are the people who are being annihilated right now.
That is mind-boggling.
Yes, it is.
So, number one, if that is the case, what she just told you, which is what I believe based on the research that I have read, it makes more sense. That is the case. They're the indigenous people. Then let's go all the way back to the Bible days. If that's true, then that would mean that Jesus was a Palestinian Jew. And if that's true...
Stop. No, absolutely not. That is dead wrong. The Messiah is a Yahweh through the line of Dawid. What the freak are you talking about? Hamas? What? What are you talking about? This is Matthew chapter 1. Now, the birth of Yahushua HaMashiach. This is not his real name. Yahushua HaMashiach, the son of Dawid, the son of Abraham. Abraham begot Isaac. Isaac begot Jacob. Jacob begot Yehudis, Yahweh, and his brethren. Yehudis begot Perez and Zerah and Tamar. And Perez begot Isram. And Isram begot Aram. And Aram begot Abinadab. And Abinadab begot Sananan. Sananan begot Solomon. Salmon. And Salmon begot Booz of Rechab. And Booz begot Obed of Ruth. And Obed begot Jesse. And Jesse begot Dawid, the king. And Dawid begot Shlomo, Solomon, of her that had the wife of Uriah, of what was her name? Bathsheba. And Shlomo begot Rehoboam, and Rehoboam begot Abiah, and Abiah begot Asa. And Asa begot Jehoshaphat. Jehoshaphat begot Joram. Joram begot Ozias. Ozias begot Jonathan or Jotham. Jotham begot Achaz. And Achaz begot SQS. SQS begot Manasseh. Manasseh begot Amon. Amon begot Yeshaiah. It's Yeshaiah is the name. Yeshaiah begot I don't even know who this is supposed to be. Which was carried away from Babylon. It's the king that was carried away from Babylon. I can't think of his name right now. Forgive me. This is not correct. This is not a correct rendition of it. This is the Greek of it, not the Hebrew of it. But skip all the way down, and you got here. He begot Jacob. Jacob begot Yosef. Yosef, the husband of Mary, whom Yahushua, Hamashiach, Yahushua, who is called Hamashiach, is born. So Hamashiach, the Messiah, Yahushua, was not, and never will be a Arab Jew. There's no such thing as an Arab Jew other than conversion to Judaism, which is a religion. To be a Jew means to be a Yahudah means you are born of the line of Yahudah. You see how it followed all the way down with Hamashiach? You can't say the Palestinians are closer to Shemitic, so that means the Messiah was Palestinian. No, that's completely wrong. Don't do that. That's garbage.
Then who is the picture of the white man with the blonde hair and the blue eyes in all of these churches?
That is Caesar Borgia. Let's get him. Caesar Borgia. Let's get him. Let's get some images of Caesar up here. Caesar. This is Caesar. This is Caesar. These are depictions of Caesar. All right, that's who that is.
How do we know what Jesus actually looked like?
Because the scripture tells us, my gracious, I didn't know I was going to be teaching like this today, man. I'm not even a teacher. But hey, when it comes, when duty calls, so be it. This is the revealing of Yahushua Hamashiach, which the Most High gave unto him to show unto his servants things which shall shortly come to pass. This was given through Yehukanan the Revelator. Yeah. So we're going to drop down just a bit. All right, verse 13. It says, and in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire. Now, his head and hairs were white like wool. His hairs, that's the hair of his head, and hairs, that's the hair on his face, his beard. It is beyond the custom of Israelite men to have beards. Beyond the custom. It is standard, mandatory. It is a shame for a man not to have a beard on his face. White like wool is white as snow. Why would it say white like wool? Is wool a color? You go somewhere and say, yeah, let me get the wool. If you're saying wool, is that a color or a texture? So it's giving us the texture of his hair. The hair of his head and the hair of his face was in color white, but in texture like wool. So it would be described as it is described. It looked white and woolly. Now, this is not Hamashiach as he walked the earth. This is Hamashiach in his glorified body. Okay? In his glorified body, not his completely glorified body, because you couldn't look at that and live. But what Yehukanan the Immerser, or Yehukanan the Revelator, saw here was Hamashiach in his walking the earth form after he was resurrected. So the hair of his head and the hair of his face was white and wool texture, as white as snow. And his eyes were as a flame of fire. And his feet were like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. So his feet were like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace. So he was very dark complected. The reason he was so dark complected is because, truthfully, he shines like brighter than the sun. And when you put this skin on him, in order to hold that shine back, this skin gets very, very dark because he shines so thick through it. That's why it looked like he was burned in a furnace, because he looks like he was that black, because that shine. And we're going to get that when the time comes. Remember, well, you probably don't remember, but when Moses came down from communing with on the mount, his face shined, and it scared the people. They had to put a veil on him because he was so afraid. They were so afraid of his shine on him. That's what is being described here. They're not going to teach you that on the first day of the week. Let's get back to the video.
I remember in the Bible where they talk about a description of him is Revelations. And if you know of another time, let me know. I'm open. Let me know. Is Revelation.
Okay, I got another one for you. Here is, let's go to Daniel chapter 7. Now, this is not the Messiah. This is the Most High. And here's the description. Daniel chapter 7, verse 9. I beheld till the thrones were cast down. What does this mean, the thrones are cast down? This means that the people who are in rulership are destroyed. He said, I beheld, or I saw, until the thrones were cast down. So there's nobody on the throne except, and the Ancient of Days did sit. Who is the Ancient of Days? Who is older than days? Who made days? That is the Most High, the power of it all, the power of Israel. The Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was as white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool. Like the pure wool, whose garment was as white as snow, and the hairs of his head like the pure wool. And his throne was like a fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire. So remember I said Hamashiach underneath that is brighter than the sun. That's what you're seeing here with the Most High. That Daniel saw, yeah, he had a garment on, and his hair of his head, and it was like the pure wool. As he saw him from behind, if he'd have saw him from the front, he'd have been dead. He'd have died. It would have killed him. But his throne, a fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire. So many references to this in the script. So many. But let's continue.
Where they said that, and he had hair of wool. Remember all this? So how do we know that the picture that you see in a lot of these churches, and a lot of black churches too now, don't get it twisted, this pale-faced man with long white hair and blue eyes. How do you know that's what Jesus looked like?
He doesn't.
Hello?
Mama, couldn't we at least let Black Jesus hang alongside?
Forget it. The only Jesus I know is him, and the one thing he don't need is a partner.
Mama, how do we know Jesus wasn't black? He could have been from the lost tribe of Israel. They were supposed to be black.
I bet they were. If ever people were lost, we're it.
Now just hush up, both of you. This picture has been in my family for as long as I can remember. When I was a baby, I don't know what I saw first. My mama, my papa, or this Jesus. Now, he's the one I know and love, so let's close the subject. Jesus was black, the Bible would have said so.
But it does say so.
What are you talking about?
I read about it. It's in Revelations chapter 1, verse 14. I read about it in Muhammad Speaks. It says, his hair is like wool, and his eyes are like flame of fire.
Oh, Lord have mercy. They sure do say that, don't it?
And see, Mama, look at that hair, like wool, ain't it? And look at them eyes, red like fire.
Yeah, they sure is. Julie, how come you decided to paint this?
I don't know. All of a sudden, I just had divine thoughts on my mind.
And for JJ, that's a first.
What, having divine thoughts?
No, having a mind.
I guess I ought to be grateful for JJ having Jesus on his mind in any color.
Then we can hang it on the wall, Mama?
Well, now,
Please, Mama.
All right. But just for Black History Week. After that, he comes down.
All right, that's the end of it. So it's amazing how they hid this, and they put it in primetime television. Well, not primetime, but they put it in good times and things like that, just to make basically a mockery of us in these situations, because it's unclear to us, because they tell us this, but what are you supposed to do with this? So what happens when you find this information out, that we are the children of Israel? What do you do? Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 12. It says, "And now, Israel, what do Yahweh, your power, require of you, but to fear Yahweh, your power, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve Yahweh, your power, with all of your heart and your soul, to keep the commandments of Yahweh and his statutes, which I command you this day for your good." So this is what you do with this information. You don't just take it, throw it in the back seat, let it just marinate. You use it to serve the Most High properly. What do Yahweh, your power, require of you? Now that you understand that we are Israel, we are Israelites, we come from Yahweh. A lot of us, some of us may be some of the other tribes, that's okay. What do Yahweh, your power, require of you? But to fear Yahweh, your power, and to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve Yahweh, your power, with all of your heart and with your soul, and to keep the commandments of Yahweh and his statutes, which I command you today for your good. It's for your good to do these things. When we didn't do these things, we were subject to captivity, to punishment, and to the will of these nations. And that's how we got where we are. And that's why Yahu is sitting here right now, explaining to you why you should be keeping the law, statutes, and the commandments of the Most High. Who is supposed to keep these? The children of Israel, scattered to the four quarters of the earth. That is the job of the Israelites. It's not the job of somebody else, of another nation. It's the job of the Israelites. So how do we do it? We walk in the way that the Most High has set forth, and we keep the way that He have made for us. Do we have to come up with something new? No. We keep what He has given us. He has shown us the way. We just keep His way. Well, what about religion? Religion is not for us. You don't have to be an Israelite and a Muslim, or an Israelite and a Christian. Being an Israelite is all that is required. Well, what else do we need to do? Keep the laws, statutes, and the commandments of the Most High. Love the Most High. Follow His ways. How you going to follow His ways? You're going to have to start studying the scriptures. Much like I was taking you through, showing you different texts so you understand these things. So you understand who these people are, what has happened in these past times, and how we have come to this particular point. All right. Now, my email is on the YouTube page. If you're interested, email me. I'll be more than happy to assist you. I'm going to go ahead and close this on out. You have been live and direct with your Akazaki Yahoo. Shout out once again to Elder Benayah Israel, who put out this video. And I hope that brothers and sisters hear this and do something positive with it. It's important for us. It's highly important for us. There's nothing more important for us. All right? Now, we do this for a specific purpose. Romans chapter 10 and verse 1. Brethren, my heart's desire in prayer to Ha'abba. Ha'abba is the Father for Israel, is that they might be saved. We want to see our people saved. We want to see our people set free. And we want to see our people restored to the prominence that the Most High have promised us. You know, the Most High promised us prominence in the earth, that we would be the top nation in the earth forever and ever. The kingdom is ours. Did you know that? Of course you didn't know that. Who's going to teach you that? Only the Israelites can teach you that. Because the other nations don't want to be under us. They hate us. Why would they want to be under us? And right now, they're on top and we on the bottom. How are we going to do it? How are we going to get that restoration? First of all, we're going to keep the faith and the Messiah to return to do the will of the Most High and restore Israel back to where we belong. And also Ecclesiastes chapter number 12 and verse number 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep His commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. It is so very important to understand that in the conclusion of the whole matter, we are to fear the Most High and keep His commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. At the end of the day, when it is all said and done, all the dust is settled and all the smoke is cleared, we will be judged, or rather, we have feared the Most High and kept His commandments. Why? Because this is the whole duty of man. I am your Akazaki Yahoo, as always, giving all praises, honor, and great esteem unto the Most High Power, Yahweh, Bashem, Hamashiach, Malak, and King, Yahweh, the Messiah, Hamashiach, and to the 12 tribes of Israel who are scattered to the four quarters of the earth, I say, Shalom, Wa, Baruchim, peace and blessings. And I cannot wait till the day when the Most High brings us back together and we are once again 12 tribes, one family, one nation, under the Most High power, under one covenant, back in our own land with a heart of flesh and no more a heart of stone, with our enemies, our adversaries, and all those who hate us under our feet. Until that day come, shalom, family. All praises to the Most High. Praise you, Abba Yah, Kwam Yasha'Allah, and Barak Hashem Yahweh.